UVU. Because it's in Utah County, and I missed BYU's application deadline.
And you're a BYU student, correct?
Going to be. Honestly, I'm out of state. I'm an out-of-state student.
Okay.
I could be an in-state student, but I don't want to go through the hassle of switching over my car and all that kind of thing. So, for one, BYU with finances is a lot easier on my pocketbook because they don't charge as much as UVU would for me being an out-of-state tuition payer. And secondly, really it's the prestige. BYU is just, it's a better known name.
Okay.
And for academics, especially if I choose to go business, which I'm leaning between that and teaching history, BYU's number 2 in the nation right now, or was last year. So,
why did you go to UVU?
I think the class that I want to be from BYU was like computer science, and I think it was full, so I just applied there just to finish that one credit course there.
Okay.
My name is Erin Neufeld, and I go to BYU, and I'm a dance major there. BYU has one of the best dance programs out there, and so I decided to go there because I wanted to be able to go to a school that had good quality dance teachers and dancing, and they could give me what I wanted.
I chose BYU for graduate school because, frankly, it was the best school I got into that was affordable. I got into London School of Economics, and I got into Washington State University and BYU, and then I got rejected from 4 schools. So I decided BYU because it was my number 2 choice, but it was also the number 1 choice in terms of cost and in terms of location.
My name is Emily Perryman, and I'm a student at UVU. I wanted to go to BYU because I felt that was the right thing to do as an LDS person. I felt that if I didn't go there, that people would look down on me.
I had heard the things about it being Utah Valley's high school, and so I feel like I didn't take it as serious, and that's kind of what I perceived from others, just kind of laid back and not as serious. However, my ideas have definitely changed.
When I tell people that I live in UVU housing, they just kind of snicker and think that I live in like some big party place, and then they're shocked to find out that we pretty much have the same rules that BYU housing does.
Some students, they're probably more open, they're not really scared to voice their opinion, whereas probably BYU, more people there are probably married, so they're not in that phase in their lives, so they're over that phase, and I could totally understand where they're coming from, the kids at UVU, because I was there once, you know. A lot of boys, the girls I went on a date with, so who wouldn't understand that?
Yeah.
Definitely an LDS-based school. Like we pray in class. Most of the teachers do. You know, we're free to talk about our religious beliefs. Yeah, it's a very social, involved environment. Everyone wants to get to know each other. Everyone's really friendly.
When I first got there, I was a little bit surprised because I've never, I went to BYU Idaho for my undergraduate, so I kind of knew what I was getting into in terms of like a religious school, but I never lived in Utah, and I wasn't really used to the Utah mentality and the Utah way of living because I'm from a different state. And once I got there, I thought, oh, this is very different. You know, everyone's LDS. You know, all the opinions are 100% LDS, and that was a bit of a shock at first.
The classes were definitely harder, and I felt everyone was smarter than me, and everyone was definitely snotty.
I went into BYU with that mentality of it being more serious, with wanting to graduate and accomplish my degree and everything like that. And so I felt like I put myself in situations that was more professional.
I guess it's just more varied. I mean, obviously at a BYU, everybody should at least says they're going to church and doing standards as far as the LDS church goes, and here it is more varied and a little more loose, but I really haven't seen much of a difference.
I was to finish up my graduate program.
Okay.
The kids in my class, or all the students in my class, are all married, have families, and so we're kind of the same age group, whereas we're not talking about how our date went, as far as boyfriend and girlfriend, but how our date went with our wives or our husbands, and the lives of our kids are like, I think what our kids are doing and what our spouses are doing, things like that, not
Okay.
the young phase in our life, I guess.
Okay.
I worked for UVU. I have taken a couple classes there, but I already, of course, have a graduate degree. But I lived in the area. I was going to school at BYU, and it just made sense to try to get a job there and to try to do things there. I think UVU is a great institution. You know, I love working for them, and I think that the student experience is really interesting and unique. As far as being a teacher, one of the things I really like about UVU is that I can say whatever I want, and I'm not really scared. When I was a TA at BYU, I had an instructor who that I TA'd for, who this particular person, she kind of had difficulty dealing with, you know, what decisions about what kinds of content to share with the students. And we would have conversations occasionally about it. You know, she didn't want to say or do certain things that she felt like the students would be offended by, and that's never been a concern for me.
Like, it would be a lot better for me. I knew a lot of people that went there, and so I felt that it would just be a better choice for me. I like it a lot. I feel though that I'm behind in my major, and so the people who already are together seem to be more connected, and I feel somewhat of an outsider, but I definitely feel more relatable to the students, so I feel that I will be able to connect more quickly with them, and I like the teachers a lot more, and I can relate to them, and the class sizes are a lot smaller, and so I like that.
As I've come back, there's just a different, I feel like, again, I went in with a different mentality and found different things while I was there at UVU. But I think that the culture, now that I'm more aware and coherent of the situation that's there, I think it's professional, it's serious, it's real, it's good.
With UVU, I was in a setting where you have the majority of the students there are single, whereas in BYU, the majority of the students there are married. So, as far as perception goes, like back to what we were talking about earlier, they're talking about what, you know, the kind of date they went on, as far as boyfriend, girlfriend, whereas we're talking about what kind of date we're planning to have with our spouse.
Element of the same types of culture at UVU as at BYU with the Mormon influence, but at the same time, it's a little different. Whereas at BYU, I think if you challenge somebody's opinion and it happens to deal with the LDS Church, there is a bit of an intimidation factor there, and I felt that way as a student.
I really like it a lot, and I feel that teachers are really willing to help you, and the students are friendly, and everyone seems to get along really well. BYU, I always felt less than the students around me, whereas UVU, I feel on the same level as them, and I don't really have to compete with anybody.